Hello, everyone, and thank you again for joining us. Today, we are having a conversation about social work power and what it means. Today is more of an organic conversation about social work, about our role in this transformation of mental health, what it means, and where we see this process going and evolving into. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Karen Dubin. I have a PhD in social work. I'm an LCSW, and I am the Chief Operating Officer for Sweet Institute. And so in this conversation today, it is, what we've been talking about in particular in the Social Work Power Certificate course, which is one of the things that we are doing toward this movement that we feel strongly about at Sweet, with regard to the transformation of mental health and social work being a platform in order to create that process, is really about who our allies are in this, who are our partners, who are our collaborators. Where is it that there is talk about wanting there to be changes in the system, and then in other areas, a sense of disempowerment around whether or not I am the one who can make the change. And this is something that has continued to resurface itself through these conversations. And so something that hasn't yet been fully, I think, there's a lack of satisfaction perhaps with how this has continued to roll out, or the conversation continue to go, in that it does keep coming up in terms of, do I have a right to be here? And am I somebody who actually has the ability to do or say anything about this? And so last time we talked about urgency and whether or not there is an experience of urgency among social workers to really want there to be a transformation of mental health. And I think that's a question that sort of still remains for those of us who have been in this conversation. It is a question where there is this sense of perhaps not an urgency, perhaps an experience, a parallel process or an experience of disenfranchisement, that this is how the systems are always going to be, or it's just too big of a problem, or it works better over there than it does over here. So, count your blessings for what it is that you have, even if that what you have isn't that great either. And I think that, again, is part of even the experience that sometimes our clients have when they don't make changes, or they don't create opportunities for themselves for something bigger in their life or something healthier in their life. There is this ongoing comparison about, well, it's not as bad as it used to be, or it's not as bad as it is over there. And so I should just count my blessings and be happy with what I have. And so I think that perhaps that's a story that we also create about any kind of change in the mental health system. And so that has been kind of part of the conversation in terms of urgency, the lack of urgency, and then in that, whether or not social work is can create the kind of momentum or the urgency or the necessity around this change, and whether or not it's by partnering with peers, who have a deeper experience and understanding of the inequities in the actual being recipients of services. And maybe that is the natural partnership for social work in facilitating this change around the mental health system. And then what does that look like? Or, or maybe it's organizations like NAMI, or OMH, or any number of things that may be looking at this and really beginning to look deeper at the different kinds of conversations that are already out there, and really see whether or not there are partners for us as social workers that can create with us the kind of momentum and power that we think is necessary in order to really facilitate these kinds of changes. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Please post below, and I look forward to seeing you next time as we continue the conversation about the transformation of mental health.